Welcome to this very beginning tutorial on He Is Coming, which is sort of I would put this as a retro RPG game that is a lot of fun to play. I'm actually playing this. This is the second copy. I'm playing this on my other Steam account, and I have another copy which I play more on my on another copy. So that's how much I like it. I actually bought a second copy of it. But nonetheless, this is a lot of fun, and there's quite a bit to it. But once you get the basic mechanics down, it's pretty easy. So that's what we're going to talk about, just sort of the basics. When you first come in, you're going to just hit play, very simple. I haven't actually unlocked this on this PC, but once you defeat the woodlands, you will unlock another map called the Swamplands. In this case, I haven't, but it doesn't matter because that's all you can choose anyways, is woodland. How do you unlock the Swampland map? Well, you have to defeat all of the bosses in the woodland. Once you've defeated this, then you move on to that. But there's a lot to do in here, so don't worry. So I haven't really done any multiplayer. I just do this in single. It's challenging enough. So you hit woodland. You're going to come in here and this is going to be you. There you go. And this may look like a small map, but if you hit shift and you zoom out and you start to move with either the WASD keys or the arrow keys, you can see this is a huge map. I mean, it's just huge. So there is a lot to explore, and that's kind of what you're doing. You're exploring to basically get items, buffs, all kinds of things. And the end game is you will be at the end of each round or map, I just call this map 1, you will fight a boss who you can see here. So let's talk about each section of this, and then we'll sort of talk about the map a little bit more. So you have a sequence, which I thought was really neat, of day, night, day, night, day, night, and then when the third night ends, you will fight this boss. And that's where the title comes from, He Is Coming. Now if we hit tab, you can see what the stats are. We're going to be fighting the Blood Moon Werewolf. He's got 20 health, he's got 3 attack, he's got 1 speed. Health is what it sounds like, attack is what it sounds like. Shields, let's say he had 5 shields. That would mean that if I hit him for 5, it would do no damage. The shield would then go down to 0. If I hit him for 7, it would do maybe 2 damage, something like that. So that's the way you think of shields. Speed is an interesting one. It basically, if I had 2 speed over here and he had 1, that would mean I would just attack first. But there's a lot more to these things. There are certain buffs, like for instance, it might convert speed to attack. So just keep that in mind. It's not that simple of a game. There's certain buffs on all of these categories that you can do. Like there's things like I said, items that will convert speed to attack. So if I had 10 attack and it was for every 2 speed, it was giving me 1 attack, then I would have 5 more attacks. So there's all kinds of things you can do, strategies. It's not just as simple as, hey, I want to get 20 speed. You could get buffs that alter it in different ways. So you do kind of want to look at the boss early on and see what his stats are, and maybe base your build, your items over here, on what you want to do, because you will have to fight him in the end. That's less important with the early bosses, but it gets more important early on. Maybe he's got a particular attribute, and you need now to sort of change what items you have to account for that so that you can defeat him. So that's what you do. You hit the shift button. Each move that you make will take up 1 square, and as you do that, the day will start to disappear. The main difference between day and night is you get a little bit more visibility, I believe, but also the big difference is the monsters that are within range of you now will attack. Whereas in the day, they'll just be kind of hibernating and you can attack them. But in the daytime, in the nighttime, they will actually seek you out. So that's the big difference. So we've talked about sort of this up here. We've talked a little bit about the map. Here is the first item you get. It is just a basic wooden stick. That doesn't mean a lot. you're going to try to replace that, and when you can replace that with a really good weapon, or even a weapon that hits for 2 or 3, I recommend you do that. It is identified, and you'll notice this for all the different items, for armor items, speed items. They have a border around them. In this case, the border is red. That just indicates it's a weapon. You can combine weapons, and we're actually going to do a little bit of walkthrough. We're going to go all the way to this final boss, and maybe even down to the second map a little bit, just to get you sort of a general feel how the game works. So like I said, each time you move, that takes up a square, takes up a little bit of day. So plan your moves a little bit wisely. You can't just walk around and consume all the time, because you want to, I guess the basic I'm saying is you don't want to like retrace your steps. You kind of want to keep moving forward a little bit, but also there are certain waypoints that you can use. Now, again, if you hit shift and you come out here, there's a waypoint right here. So it does expose some things in the map. This will actually, this little ball here is huge. This allows you, it will expose some really good areas like where blacksmiths are that can buff your weapons and other things, the shop. So that's really cool. Now, the fact you're seeing these, some of these are exposed, this is good because maybe we want to work our way to that waypoint, or maybe you want to work your way to expose something. I think we're actually going to go up here. So we'll go that way based off seeing that up there. Now, gray can mean two things. One is it means one thing, you can't use it. And in this case, this is where we came from. We can't go back here. So just keep that in mind when you see something gray. But it also, stuff that's off the map is gray because it's just telling you can't use it. Doesn't mean you can't use it. When you get close to it, it will brighten up, and we'll see that in a minute. Okay, so that's the basic parts of the game. Let's go ahead and start to move. And you can see here it hasn't moved a little bit, but it will start to. In fact, I'm there. So you can see it moved a little bit. So just keep in mind that your moves are consuming time, and time is very important in this game. So we see our first chest. Ideally, you would like to get a few chests before you fight monsters if you can. That is always, and that's not hard to do in the day. So we went over the chest, and now we've got our first ability to pick something up. And you can see here's a weapon. On hit, restore 1 health. And you know, that's actually a very good weapon. I think we're going to take that early on. I like that. I like restoring health. Deal 1 damage. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and just take that. We gained, obviously, you know, you'd like to get these items filled up, but, oh, I wanted to point that out. This will always have your weapon. These are like gloves and boots and stuff like that. But if you ever take a weapon, it will just replace the weapon you had. So let's shift out again. Again, we kind of want to work our way up here so I can show you that. There's another chest. Now, here's where we have a decision to make. This is actually a shop, and you're going to learn what these icons all stand for. Like, you're going to know that this guy, or see the guy that exposes. Now I'm forgetting. I actually forget what all these icons do. That might not be the shop. No, this actually exposes more of the map. Excuse me. So, but you will learn what these icons do. Here's a chest. Here's a chest that we can't visit anymore. So obviously we wouldn't probably want to go back this way because we're taking up valuable time. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to go up here first because I want to get to this thing here. And here's what I said. Here's this crystal ball. It will reveal a location. Now, these 3 icons are all really useful. A golem allows you to basically it allows you to combine items. Now, you can see here we've only got 4 slots. We're going to talk about combining items. You can combine items that are the same item. So, for instance, if I found 2 boots that were gray, let's say they were gray boots, and they added 2 health. They were the same name, everything. I can put an identical item in the inventory, and then I can use the golem to combine them. I don't really get a bonus effect, but what happens is it combines their effects. And think about that. Now I've combined it, and I've got an extra open slots, and slots are so important. So the more items you can combine, you always want to kind of think about that in the back of your head. How many items can I combine? More items you can combine, that means more slots available for extra items, which could make the difference. I mean, some of these fights that you're going to have, I promise you, they may come down to the final hit, and they do a lot. They come down to the final hit, and maybe that one extra item you're carrying makes that difference. So just keep that in mind. This is the shop, and this is the blacksmith. We're actually going to reveal the location of the blacksmith all the way over here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to start making our way over there. And so far, we haven't even fought a fight yet, which is good. Okay, so here we've got some better items. You can already tell. These are usually good items. This will add 5 health. And also keep in mind what they're made out of. Wood. That can come into play when you're doing certain things. Certain items will give you buffs based on what type of it. If it's made out of stone or if it's made out of wood, it will give you certain buffs. So just always kind of keep that in mind. And also, if you want to combine this, like you would need a redwood roast, it'd have to be exactly the same. Here's one that exposes 3 health. And it gives you a health and a shield. Okay, and this does it when you're exposed. So that's not bad too. I think we're going to go ahead and take the redwood helmet, but I also like, you know what? I think we're just going to really boost up our health. Okay, so there you go. So now I'm glad that happened, because keep in mind that when you add that, it does not give you that health. Okay, so we still have to either restore that in battle, and that's usually how that's done. You saw there's some items that will restore your health, or optionally you can do that at fires. Fires are very important. You can camp. When it hits night, actually it will expose where a lot of the fires and camps are that we can go to. Camping is kind of a mixed bag for me, and we'll talk about that more, but we're not gonna do that right now. So we're still gonna avoid well, you know what we do? I have to show you fighting, but I do want to kind of get over here and buff our weapon before we do that. Now, by not fighting, I'm not gaining gold, which is right here. So that's the one thing you want to think about too. Okay, so we've got some more. I do want to keep that health, though. This is nice with that 6. You know, that is kind of nice. But keep in mind, throughout the fight, I would be restoring 1 health. Now, that may not seem like a lot now, but if you get in a fight with one of these bosses, that could be a big deal. Now, this doesn't hit a lot, but that's what we'll go over here, and maybe we can add some damage. So let's add our first item. We're going to go ahead and we'll take the bomb. Yeah, the cherry bomb. And you can see there, it tells you at the battle start, it will deal 1 damage 2 times. So there you go. We're going to hit another chest here, and here we'll gain 3 armor if we're exposed, which means we have no armor. But that's not bad either. I think we'll take the gold since we're having a gold problem. Let's take that, and we'll gain gold at the start of each day. So that means 6 gold for as long as we're holding this. So I kind of do like these at least for a while until we get to some harder bosses. You may want to dump it, but that's not a bad thing. So now it's night, and I wanted to show you this. Now, this guy is going to chase us. See it? See how that's going on? Yeah. There you go. Let's turn, and we're going to do our first fight. So I did want to show you this. So basically, this is an auto battle. It's probably not going to... It'll probably tell you this in the tooltip. But what will happen here is before the fight, and it starts in pause until you move it out of it. And by the way, it will remember these settings, so you could always just if you wanted, I guess, start everything in pause. But this is basically you're gonna use these 3 settings. You can do this is like the slowest fight, fastest fight. I usually do it like a 2 to start out with, and there you can see that went pretty quick. I won it. Did we take a hit? I think we did, but nonetheless, there you go. So just keep in mind, stuff will be chasing us. There's a fire down there, and if we can get to that, that's a super fire, which means it restores even more. And you'll see there's like if a fire has some like stones around it, it will do when you rest there, it'll do even more. Oh wow, look at that! On a hit, it'll restore. Here we gain but I like on hit. Let's take that now. We're getting 2 health. This actually is not a bad weapon. It's too bad it doesn't have more, but we can add that. We can add, it does more damage. It only does 1 damage, but that's actually kind of critical to have that regen. All right, let's fight this guy. And now you can see, like I said, it's already going into. You can see there we restored some health after a hit. You can see these can go pretty quick. They won't later on. Okay, so we've got an option for a bow here. And this, I'm tempted to just take this. I think I am, even though that's too bad. And I don't know if we can go back. You know, let's try this. I'm wasting a lot of time here, but let's see if we can go back and yes. Okay. I just, you know what? So that was actually a good thing. We got a weapon that does more damage, the bow, and it will restore 1 health on each hit. Now you can see there though that it will lose attack after 3 strikes. So just keep that in mind, probably because you're a ranged unit. Now one thing I wanted to show you, you should know what some of these monsters do, but my least favorite is this little crow here. You do want to try to avoid them unless you have a good reason to fight them. They will actually steal. In fact, let's just go ahead and fight them. They will actually steal your gold on a hit. Look, it just did a -1. Did you see that? You might see it again if he hits me. He didn't. But I had 5. Well, I gained a gold off of him, but well, we didn't gain any gold because we started out with 5. He took 1 of our gold and we kind of took it back. But if he had hit me another time, I would have been down to 3. So, you know, they're just kind of annoying, I would say. Here's the shop. Now, I might not have enough. Well, I do to get some stuff here. The shop will just have better items. You can see here, I can't really afford some of these, but we do have 5 gold, so we can get, here. Let's see, gain 3 max health for each equipped wood item. I mean, so we've got a wood item. No, we don't have any wood items. Well, no, that's wood. So we would actually gain. That's not bad, but I don't know how many wood items I'm going to keep holding, so I'm not sure. You know, if that's. Yeah, so this is an interesting one, and here's one where I was telling you that it basically is a buff based off how much armor we have, or having armor. So in this case, we would temporarily gain a 2 attack. I'm not sure. Deal 4 damage to enemy if they don't have armor, triple the damage. That's not bad. Let's take that. Let's take that. So there is the merchant. Let's actually work our way down now because there's another exposure down here. Oh, actually, you know what? We're going to go this way. And this is a good time to fight the crow because we don't have any gold. So, yeah, he can't take anything from us. And so that's a good time to fight. Now, here is the blade oil. These are, it's kind of like the blacksmith when you see these. And you can apply these to the weapon. And in this case, we're going to go ahead and get some armor. Now, again, not having armor is not a great thing because, I mean, I need to get some armor here because for the simple reason that you want to be able to absorb some damage, especially when you fight the bosses. So, not a great situation. The 2 things I like to go for, the 3 things, I'm not a big fan of speed, though. Like I said, if you can find items that convert speed, it can actually do really well. But like I said, you want to sort of focus on armor, attack, and health, but definitely armor is a big one. Usually when I get past up to the 3rd or 4th bosses, I like to have this way up. All right, so we want to get to, here's the thing that exposes stuff for us. He was going to attack us anyways. So, yeah, that went pretty quick. Let's see what we can get here. So, oh, it's going to expose. So we want, that's a cauldron. Let's go for another ink way down here. All right, well, let's work our way down there. That's fine. Okay, so here's a chest, and don't feel free to replace things if you find, like, for instance, this is going to restore 4 health when we're wounded. If your health is not full, restore 2 health. That's not bad either, but I don't really like these because you can usually heal up at the, let's take the drink. And like I said, he's going to come and attack us now. And that went very, very quick. Okay, and some of these battles early on will go quick. Now there is a fire. Let's just go use that real quick if we can get to it before. I don't know if we're gonna be able to make it. Yes. So now you can see here, since we're using this, it will we'll sleep under the next day and we will restore 10 health. How awesome is that? And now we're at full health, which you really want to be. You want to, and that's one strategy I would give you. You want to kind of time it so that on the final night, you're on your way or close to a fire so that you can sleep to the final boss. That way you don't have to fight any monsters and potentially lower your health. You want to go into those fights full health. That is just pretty obvious. So where was this? This is down here. All right, let's still continue to make our way down here. Have some cycles here. Let's check this. On hit, gain 2 thorns. That's not bad, actually. But we've got so much on this weapon, I think we're going to keep it. Now, here is, you know what? We're just going to take this. We're gonna. Which one do we want to replace? Food or... we're going to take this. And we're going to replace the bomb. So now we've got 2 items. So now what we're doing, we're really looking for a golem so we can combine these and open up another slot. Question is, where is a golem? I don't know, but we at least need to try to find one. And actually, we're going to go this way. So I want to make my way... I don't think he caused a whole lot of problems there. Now, freeze will basically limit the... if you freeze somebody, it will limit their attack. It says right there, your attack is halved as long as you have freeze stack. So, and it will remove one at the end. So let's say we put 5 freeze on our enemy. That would, he would have that for 5 rounds. This can be obviously very important. In fact, I think we're going to go ahead and take that glove. And we're going to put that on here. So freeze is important too. And you'll see it looks like a snowflake or something up on him. And we'll look at that in the next battle. But that's another kind of important one to think about early on. We got a chest here. Oh my gosh. We could get 3 of these. Well, tempted to go for the leather glove, but let's keep the iron shrapnel just because we bought it. All right, so here we go. We're involved in another fight. And we're just cranking on them. That thing's just really, that bow is really doing a lot of damage. Okay, so we're almost down to where we can buff our weapon. And you can see we put the freeze. See, there's the freeze. So that means he hit us, it will be, the attack will be less. That's the way I like to think of it. And we'll freeze him again here too. See, he's frozen. Now at the end of the round, well, we didn't have an end of a round, but if we did, that would have come off. All right, so actually, I should have been paying attention to this. There is a campfire up here. We are going to go to that campfire because I want to. Now, this means we can't use it because we've already buffed our weapon with that. But we can actually give it more attack, which we'll do. So just keep that in mind that if you have used, normally they won't let you use it again, but that's just the way it is. All right, I wanted to get up here. This is going to be close. I think we got it, though. Oof. Yeah, we're going to make it. I knew this guy would attack us, but at least we want to go into our first mob boss fight fully healed up. And there we go. Campfire, yes. And okay, so there you can see we're fighting the Blood Moon Werewolf. He's got 20. I mean, we should win this fight. He is going to attack first because he's got more speed. We got more attack. While the players below Blood Moon Werewolf temporarily gains 5 attack. That's not a great thing. So if we hit 15, he's going to get a lot more nastier. So obviously it's in our best interest to end this fight as quickly as possible. At least on his first attack, and we're just wrecking his world. So the first boss or 2 you will find, I don't want to ruin it for you, are fairly easy, but let's see. It looks like we got a giant here or something. Let's see. A Treant. Okay. And so it's good to look at him. He's got quite a bit more. You can see stuff starting to go up. This guy's going to have 15 armor, which means our first 15 damage will do nothing. And we've only got 1. So definitely we have to boost some stats here. Now, you can also see that we unlocked 2 more. Yes, we got 2 more items because we are onto the second map now. Or I just call it level 2. So it's actually the same map, but I just call it level 2. That's the best way to think of it. And as you move on, you'll get more slots, which makes you more powerful, obviously. So if we defeat this guy, we would have 2 more down here. But one thing I do want to find and show you is in fact, we're going to go here. No, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go out here and look. So the campfires have been exposed because we hit a night, but where is I guess so. Again, you hit the arrows of the W. Oh, right there. All right, we're going to make our way down here because I want to find a golem, and hopefully that will allow us to do that. So I can show you how to combine things. It's relatively easy if we don't find one at the end, by the end of this tutorial. I will just tell you how easy it is. So, I mean, we have to take something here. Let's see, the lance. We want the I say we need armor, so we're just gonna go armor. I don't really like speed items, but we desperately need some armor. We need to start just building that up. Okay, here now the transform item is. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I will tell you that sometimes you get something really good. Sometimes it wasn't as good. Let's see what happened here. Oh, that is a great item. That's one of my favorite items. Look at that. Every other turn, we're going to be restoring health. So that really worked out. But I will tell you, sometimes it doesn't work out. So you might get something which I feel is worse. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I feel sometimes. Okay, it did. Finally, this is one of the final things I do want to show you, the golem. So we're going to reveal him. He's really close. Okay, so we can go up and get him. The golem is probably one of the most important things in the game, if not the most important, because like I said, it can combine items, and I can't tell you how important that is, because it gives us the ability. Okay, well, we got a nighttime situation going on. That's fine. We want to get to the golem. Finally, get to the golem. Okay, so we're going to go here, and now it's going to go combine two of the same common or golden items. So we can take this, combine it, and look at that. We got the best of both worlds into one item. We freed up, critically freed up, 2 spaces. Now the golem can be reused. So just keep in mind that, let's see, where haven't we gone? Kind of haven't gone this way. So if we go this way, kind of keep an eye. Now, there are another thing which I've not talked about, and I haven't. Let's see if we can show you that too. But I will explain it. You will hit these things called waypoints. In fact, let's go see if did we find one? There's got to be one around here. I guess I didn't hit one yet, but I will tell you what they do. Here's a waypoint. Okay. Now, I can't go to this waypoint because I haven't been there yet. But once you go there, these are as important as the golems, if not important. As important. When you go there, it will allow you basically to jump back there. So since I haven't gone there, I haven't unlocked it yet, I can't go there. But let's just pretend that I had gone there. I would be able to hit the space bar, and it would just teleport my character right over here. Now think about just how powerful that can be. Let's say I was at the end of near a boss, and I was at 10 health. I could literally, or 20 health, whatever. I could come back here, use this fire, and all of a sudden get healed all the way up to fight the boss. So just keep that in mind. But really, I like to use these because there's a lot of campfires. There's a lot less golems. If I find a waypoint near a golem, that's good to use because you can come back here and combine items. So just keep that in mind. That's how you use them, and they are super, super important. So that's really it. I think I've covered like the basics. I'm not going to try to spoil too much more, but remember, it's a huge map. Explore the areas you haven't been at. Use those waypoints and the golems and those crystal balls. Use those as much as you can. Try to get items that boost. I mean, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of speed, but I definitely like to boost health. Anything to regen, like restore health, that is a huge item. Restoring health, that's a big one. I like that. So just try, but like I said, your ultimate goal is to combine items so you can open up, so you can carry more items, because you will find that if you fight a boss, it could come down to the last hit. And this is a roguelite. If you lose, you will have to start a new run. So that's important. Oh, one more thing I did want to kind of show you. I almost forgot. And I'm sure I will forget things. And if I have, I will put a comment in the description with items that I forgot. and put them in there. And if anybody else thinks of anything, like just from a basic point of view, please let me know. But I will say this, there is no, like, there's no save, but there is a continue. So in a way, it is a save. So if I exit out of here, and I just go to the main menu, it's going to tell you stuff by done. It will let me continue right where I left off. It has that little icon for the woodlands. Isn't that cute? But that's it. So if I came here and started a new run, this would be gone, and it would continue on with that run. So that's how you can continue on. You can leave the game and come back later. It'll just pick up right where it's left off until you lose. When the boss, or if you're defeated, even if you're defeated by a regular mob, you will obviously no longer have that. And there was one final thing I did want to actually point out. I'm sure I'm missing things. I'm sort of doing this off the top of my head. But if you fight a mob, I wanted to show you this. The mobs go up in level, so they'll get a little bit stronger. Well, that went so fast. Let's go over here. Let's find another one. We can find these guys pretty easily. He's level 2. See that? That means you're level 2, you'll have a level 2 mob. Before, if we've been in level 1, and if you've been paying close attention, you would have seen level 1. And if we defeat this guy and we go to level 3, oh yeah, we'll have a level 3 mob. So the mobs get tougher too, just to let you know. Okay, that is it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the game. It's a great game.